welcome to another episode of Real Life with Ty. My name is Taika Simones, also known as Ty. I am the founder and host of Real Life with Ty. If it's your first time here, welcome. My loyal fans, welcome back. Let's get started.
You've got Ty on the line on her podcast. So what's on her mind? And for you now, you are listening to Ty on the line. You've got Ty on the line on her podcast. So what's on her mind? And for you now, you are listening to Ty on the line.
What's up? Welcome back to another episode, y'all boys. I have so much things in store for you guys. I am currently recording in a closet. Specifically, my sister's closet. Long story short, I came to my mom's house for the weekend and everybody's loud. Like, I don't remember how loud a Haitian household could be, like, since I've moved out, because, like, usually it's just me, my boyfriend, and the baby. We're, like, not that loud. But, yo, like, they loud. So I'm in the closet. So if you guys hear some noise or whatever in the background, just know that it's not me. Anyways, I just want to let you guys know we have so many things in store. First and foremost, I am accepting letters. So we will be accepting letters and you can send them in. Anything you want to talk about, relationship advice, baby advice, friendships, anything under the sun. Send me a letter, send me a DM, email. I'm also going to be giving you guys my P.O. box so you can send it that way. And we could just kind of talk about it. So every time I receive a letter, I would talk about it in the show and also ask the viewers for advice and what do they think and what would be their approach. So I'm going to go ahead and roll that out this week. Also, April 5th, I'm going to have a giveaway. It's going to be actually a $200 giveaway that will be given on April 23rd. I'm going to talk about it more on the April 5th episode. However, I just want to let you guys know, because I know by that time, y'all stimmy's going to be running out. Y'all going to be low. Y'all going to be broke. But don't worry, because Real Life with Ty got your back. We're going to be giving a $200 giveaway. So we're going to have two people actually be able to win that. And they will both be getting $100 each. So like I said, I'm going to let you guys know more about it on the April 5th episode. I also do want to go ahead and let you guys know I'm going to start doing affirmations at the first of every month, starting April 1st. So I started it this month on my own. I started it March 1st. So what I did is that I sat in my living room and I recorded about 2 to 3 minutes affirmations, and I listened to it every single morning. I listened to this recording every single morning because I started to realize that my focus was just off. Like, my energy was off. Everything was just kind of off for me. And I had to kind of go back and start off my day on a positive note. So what I decided to do was right now, today's the 21st. So far, it's only been 21 days of affirmations. But every single morning on my way to work, I listen to that. And, it really helped shift my mind. It really helped shift my thought process. It really helped just shift the way that I approach the day. And so many things have happened for me this month. And I do feel like it was because of that. So I want to share that with you guys. And I want to tell you guys a little bit about manifestation, and affirmations. And the thing that people don't get with that is that you have to believe these things with your heart, your body, your soul, your mind. You have to believe it with every inch in you, because that's how it's going to become true. So I know this is crazy, but a few months ago, I manifested my car being totaled. And I know that you're thinking like, whoa, what do you mean? Like, you manifested your car being totaled? Like, I literally woke up every single day and I said, I can't wait for this car to be totaled. I could not wait for this car to be totaled. I believed it in my heart, my spirit, my mind that this car would be totaled. And some people are going to be like, well, it might have just happened by luck. But for me, I believe that I spoke that into existence. And you know how they say the tongue is a very powerful thing? It is. And you could literally speak life and death over yourself. That's why people always say, be careful what you say. Be careful with the tongue. It's even in the Bible. I don't know the exact verse, but I know it's in the Bible because of the fact that it's very powerful. So that's why people always say, you speak life into yourself. You don't say you're broke. You say you're in a transition. You know what I mean? So when I was sitting there and I was thinking one day, it was one of those weird days where it was so sunny outside. And I went out and I parked in the flood zone. At the time, I didn't realize it was the flood zone. So I parked there, and around 3 o'clock, it starts to pour. When I tell you pour, it just starts to pour. And I'm like, oh my goodness, and I could not remember for the life of me where I parked. So sure enough, they called my tag on the intercom, and I'm like, oh snap. So I've parked in the flood zone. So by the time I go outside to actually get my car, the water was up into my knees. I had to roll my pants up, get in the car. When I get in the car, there was already water in the car. I'm like driving the car's like there was just water everywhere. And finally, when I call my insurance, I get it appraised. And the first thing I said to the guy when he came out and looked at my car, I said, is it totaled? And he said, no, usually water damage is not totaled. What they're going to do is just, vacuum out the seats. They're going to take everything out. They're going to take the carpet out. They're going to clean it, wash it, deodorize it because it smelled so bad. If you know anything about water sitting, like that mold smell, oh my God, it smelled so bad to the point like I had to leave my windows down every day. And if I wasn't able to leave the windows down because it was raining or whatever reason, then the bugs, like the flies, would stick to my car because the smell was just it was horrible. It was horrible. And finally, they took the car, they appraised it, and guess what? That bad boy was totaled. That car got totaled, y'all. And I'm telling you, when I tell you, the guy called me and he said, never in the 20 years that I have been doing appraisals have a car got totaled from a flood. But sure enough, baby, my car was totaled from a flood. And I was so excited because the insurance paid the car off. And boom, I ain't have a car payment. So I want to go ahead and share that with you guys. So April 1st, I'm going to start the affirmation. So every first is going to be separate from the episode. It's just literally going to be maybe 2 to 3 minutes maximum of affirmations that you guys can go ahead and follow and listen to every morning to kind of help you shift and shift your routine, shift your thought process, just shift the way that you wake up in the morning and the way that you start your day. Okay, and also I will be having a Mommy to Be giveaway. The gifts will be given on Mother's Day, April 9th. Like I said, more details will be coming on the April 5th episode. There's a couple of things that I still got to work out with my team. But for the most part, like I said, so we're going to have a Mommy to Be giveaway. We're going to do letters. We're going to do affirmations starting April 1st. So like I said, there's a lot of things coming. So this week, we're going to go ahead and shed spotlight on Quavo and Saweetie. I don't know how you say her name. I'm just being funny at this point, Saweetie. But they broke up, y'all. Like, can you believe it? I thought they were the cutest couple, especially when they did a magazine interview and Saweetie was like, I knew Quavo liked me or loved me because he gave me his last piece of chicken. And if anybody watched that movie, oh my gosh, I'm looking it up right now. That movie with Gabrielle Union. Yes, it was the brothers. Yes, it was the brothers, y'all. So that movie with Morris Chestnut, D.L. Hughley, Shamar Moore, Jennifer Louise. So in that movie, the mom, Morris Chestnut's mom, said the way that you find out or the way that you know if a guy loves you is he will offer you the last piece of food when you guys are eating together. And I thought that was so cute. And I'm like, oh my God, like they are so cute. But that's another thing. That's why you never idolize celebrity relationships, because you just never know what's going on. I mean, Jay-Z cheated on Beyonce. Once Jay-Z cheated on Beyonce, my confidence for all male species was just done. Because I'm like, okay, so what's the excuse? You know, people would be like, well, I cheated because there was something that she wasn't giving to me. Okay, Beyonce has the money. She has the look. She has the sex appeal. She does not seem like she's someone that's boring or, you know, not fun or not into new things. So you ask yourself, what could make Jay-Z cheat on Beyonce? And you know what it is? It's just male species. Like, y'all just slow. Like, I'm sorry to say it, and it's not every guy out there, but the majority of you guys are slow. So Quavo cheated on Saweetie, and now they're not together. And he over here talking about, you're not the woman I thought you were. Like, really, Quavio, quesadillas. What's your quizás no te gaston? Like, really, that was your response. Like, after you cheated, just be a man about it. You did what you did. Call it a day. You know, you don't have to sit there and bash her or try to throw her under the bus when you know you're in the wrong. Like, that's how guys are in general. That's just how they are. That's what they do. So moving on, but the spotlight goes out to them. Quavo, you lost a real one. Bad bitches coming through 2021. This summer is ours. We on the streets. We welcoming Saweetie back to the streets. We in the streets this year. Y'all niggas gonna be crying over us this year. We gonna be calling y'all and being like, yo, babe, my phone's about to die. I'm still shooting dice. Like, that's how we're coming through 2021, okay? All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into this episode. This week, I wanted to talk about credit. I wanted to talk about credit because, you know, you guys, this is Real Life with Ty. I talk about things that I'm going through or things that are on my journey or have been a part of my journey. And at this point, we are working on investing in real estate. I am starting to look into properties, get things in order so that I can start my little journey on becoming a real estate investor. So this week I thought it would be a good idea to go ahead and talk about credit. Now, if you didn't know, no credit is just as bad as bad credit. If you have no credit, you have bad credit. Because basically there's no way for people to determine, you know, if you're able to pay your bills, because that's mostly what it is. It's if I borrow you $20 and I give you a month to pay me my $20 back, are you able to pay me back my $20? One, how long does it take you to pay me back my $20? Two, so credit is important because it allows you to get loans for things you don't have the money to purchase, such as purchase with cash, really, such as a car, a house, a personal loan, business loans. A lot of people start off things with loans. That's why people say, you know, there's good debt and there's bad debt. Now, there's 3 credit bureaus. There's Equifax, Experience, and TransUnion. These 3 credits are the credit bureaus. They report credit cards, mortgage payments, student loans, auto loans, electricity bills, renters' information, if you've ever been evicted. I mean, they have a variety of things. Even your phone bill, if some people are with like places that check your credit, for example, like AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, any of those big telephone companies, they check your credit and your report is there. So if you ever like jumped a plan, didn't pay off the phone, you know, those things go into collections, and yeah, it takes about 5 to 7 years for them to be like wiped off, but it's still a part of your credit report. Now, some people ask, well, how do I build credit? You could build credit by getting a credit card through your bank. That is like the first place that will usually give you a credit card because they're already familiar with you. They already know, you know, a sense of your income because you're banking with them. And they're usually the best people to start with because they would probably give you the highest credit limit. Now, every lender will give you a credit limit. Some people, you know, that have high credit scores or good credit scores will be given double digits and up, whereas somebody that has a low credit score, they'll start you off with like $300. That's why some people are like, well, I have cards that are unlimited. but you got some good credit. You got good credit or you got a lot of money, but like people do have unlimited cards, or people have cards that are $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 credit cards. Some of them are personal, some of them are business, but it's all because of their credit. Now you can also build your credit through getting a car loan, retail store credit cards. Retail store credit cards, they aren't as big of an impact on your credit score, but they can help you build your credit score if you are starting from scratch. Car loans, you have to be careful with car loans though, because ooh, you could end up in a really bad deal when it comes to car loans. For example, I was in a horrible deal with a car loan because of the fact that I didn't have a really good credit score, but this company was still, they still let me purchase a car, because one thing we have to understand is that the banks, whoever you're borrowing the money from, doesn't really give a fuck about your best interest. You know how they say some people are cash house rich and cash poor? Like a person will sell you a house knowing that you can't afford it, knowing that you can afford it on paper, but knowing that you really are going to be struggling every month to pay that mortgage. And the thing is that you have to be able to be honest with yourself and honest with where you're at in your life financially to know, hey, can I really afford this? Like, some rule that I have with myself now is, okay, if I can't buy it twice, then I can't afford it. Because if I can buy it once but I'm struggling to buy it twice, then I can't afford it. Also, if I can't buy it cash or I can't buy it with my money, then I can't afford it. Because if I have to put it on a credit card, I'm borrowing from Paul to pay Peter. You know what I mean? So it's, you got to really have a strong financial understanding of where you're at financially, what are your goals financially, and how to get there. What are things to do to get yourself to where you want to be financially? Now, you got to keep your credit. um the way that you can keep your credit high and keep building up your credit is by paying bills on time. Making payments before they're due is such a big thing. Like, for example, I have a few credit cards. What I do is I would put little things on them, like, for example, Netflix. Netflix is $15. iTunes is maybe, I have the student plan, so it's $4.99. And then, the 99 cents for storage. So maybe like $5. So all in all, I have a credit card that's charged maybe $25 every month for those two things. So what do? I pay them before the due date because that's going to help bring my credit score up. You also have to use less than 20% of your credit limit. So let's say you have $1,000 credit card, right? Do not, I repeat, do not use that whole $1,000. Okay? You're not using that whole $1,000 because for you it's like, okay, I have $20,000. I have $1,000 to spend. No, you do not have $1,000 to spend. If you have $1,000 credit card, you only have $200 to spend. Why? Because you should be using less than 20% of your overall credit. And your overall credit, if it's only $1,000, 20% of $1,000 is $200. So that's it. That's all you can spend. Nothing more than that, and definitely less than that. And you can also dispute any credit errors. This episode was sponsored by Effortless Cleaning Services. Effortless Cleaning Services currently serves Palm Beach County, and their services include residential, commercial, and janitorial cleaning. Check them out on Instagram at Effortless C Services and click the link in the bio to book your next clean, making cleaning effortless for you. You know, one thing that I always think, credit repairs are scams. I'm sorry, they're scammers. They are like they are scammers because of the fact that you can literally build your credit on your own, one, and two, any of the things that they're writing letters for you, you can write letters yourself. Okay, you don't need no qualification, you don't need no certification, you don't need nothing special to write a letter to a credit bureau disputing credit errors. And if you don't know how to write it, you can Google it. Everything is at your fingertips these days. Okay, and you don't necessarily need to pay somebody to build your credit. Yes, they can help you build your credit faster, But credit is something that takes time. So if you have a bad credit score, it's going to take time to build credit. People, banks, lenders like to show consistency. They like to see consistency. So they like to be able to look and see that, okay, you pay your bills on time for 3 to 5 years. Okay, you haven't had an eviction for 3 to 5 years. You haven't, your score hasn't decreased in 3 to 5 years. It has continued to grow. That is really big to lenders. It's all about the consistency. Does this person pay on time? Does this person pay the whole amount? How many overdraft fees does this person get? How many times has this card declined? Is this person using more money on the card than the card allows? I mean, those are the things that the lenders are looking for, okay? And you never want to use more than you need. That's the another thing that people kind of get carried away with. They see, oh my gosh, I have $1,000 credit card, I have $1,000 to spend. No, you do not have $1,000 to spend. That is not your money. Okay, that is not your money. You only have $200 to spend, and less than that. Actually, to be on the safe side, let's say $100 to spend. So you got to give yourself that discipline. You got to be able to tell yourself, okay, this is the only amount of money that I'm able to spend, because then what ends up happening is now you have $1,000 credit card that's accruing interest. That's another thing. So that $1,000 that it was a month ago is going to end up being 1,020, 1,030, 1,040, to eventually being $2,000. Now that $1,000 you spent is actually $2,000 over time, because the interest is continuing to grow and you're not able to make the payments back in time to keep the interest low and to pay only $1,000. You got to be really careful with that. That's why people, they go out, they get the new phone every year, they open the credit every year. And it's an endless cycle. And you ask yourself, dang, I make X amount of money every month. Why can I not keep my money? It's because you are too busy borrowing from Peter to pay Paul, because of the fact that you're not able to control yourself and you're not able to control how you spend. So it is very important that you guys take control of your finances. Understand that with credit, you do not have that limit you think you have. You have way less than that. And to only use what you need when you need it. So some of the tips that I can give to you. One is that you get a free credit report once a year that doesn't affect your credit score. So once a year, every year, you can get a full credit report from all three bureaus that will tell you exactly what your score is, what's on your credit. I mean, it's very thorough. What's on your credit? What are the things that are you're being like penalized, or things that are being held against you? You can look and see if there's anything that you need to dispute, anything that you need to work on, and it'll let you know at that time. You can also one of my biggest tips is keeping your credit cards at home. Oh my gosh, when I tell you I have been able to save myself so much from keeping my credit cards at home. I keep every single credit card I own is at home. I only have one credit card that I know the credit card number on my card. Shout out to Capital One on my phone, because it lets you see the credit card. But even then, there's very few places that will let you type in the credit card number. Most places want to see the card and they want to see your ID to verify that it's actually your card and it's actually you using it, because with fraud and everything like that. But that is the biggest tip. If you're bad with just spending, you can't control yourself, leave your credit cards at home. And another thing is, once you pay off your credit cards, a big way to stop from kind of getting into the same cycle over and over again is, once you pay off your credit card, do not use it for anything big. You only use it for stuff like Netflix, Hulu, gas, iTunes, Apple Music. I use it for like Netflix, and I don't have every single subscription. I don't have Hulu, Netflix, Stars, Amazon, Disney Plus. I don't have all of them. I only have one, which is Netflix. I lied. I do have Amazon Prime, but that's because I'm always ordering stuff. But those two subscriptions, I put them on two cards. Because, another bad thing is if your card's closed, it does hurt your credit. It doesn't hurt your credit bad, but they do see it as a negative. So the way that I keep my cards active, but without using them all the time, is just putting little things that are on auto pay, like Netflix, Amazon Prime, things that are less, my limit for myself, things that are less than $100. Because I always tell myself, if push comes to shove, I will always have $100 to pay off a credit card, but I will not pay off more than that. And, like I said, you start off with 100, and by the time you actually end up paying it, if you don't have the money to pay it and only making minimum payments every month, you can end up paying $130, $140, $150, $200 because of the interest that comes every month. And another thing is that you can actually call and talk to the credit people, ask them to, one, increase your credit. That's a big thing. Increase your credit limit. Sometimes if you're paying on time and they see that you're paying on time consistently, they'll increase it on their own, which is a good thing. And two, you can ask them to lower your interest rate. You can call the credit company and ask them, hey, I've been a customer with you for the last year. I have paid every credit card on time, every payment on time. I don't use more than 20% of my credit card. Can you lower, is there any way you can lower the credit? Is there any way that you could lower the interest rate? And some people will say yes. Some credit companies will say yes and lower your interest rate. And you can do that every 6 months to a year. So then you start off with 20, then you go down to 15, then you go down to 10, and then sometimes you'll even go down to 0. You just got to call. There's a lot of information out there that you guys just have to try and use and call. When I tell you it ain't nothing, closed mouths don't get fed. Closed mouths do not get fed. And let me tell y'all how closed mouths don't get fed. I am a part of the Earn Your Leisure group, right? The EYL team. And when I got pregnant, before I went on maternity leave, I tried to make sure I was able to basically churn off anything that I didn't necessarily need during those 3 months. And unfortunately, EYL didn't have a way you could turn off the subscription and turn it back on, because by the time you come back, the price for it will go up. So I wrote them an email. I said, hey, I'm going on maternity leave for 3 months. I will not be able to make the payments for the subscription. Is there any way that I can either A, come back and get the subscription at the same price I paid, or B, can you put me on like a cancel it for a few months and at the end of it I'll come back and you can restart it? And sure enough, he said, you know what? Email me when you're ready to come back and we will give it to you at that same price. Okay. So when I tell you closed mouths don't get fed, closed mouths don't get fed. And I wrote them an email and I told them, I'm not, disrespecting you guys. I don't want you to think that I don't think what you're doing is important. I just explained my situation. Because when you go on maternity leave, your money, you only get 6 weeks of pay and you only get, I forgot how much it is, but it's like 30% of your pay. No, you only get 60% of your pay, something like that. Something ridiculous like that. More of the story is that you get shitty-ass paychecks. So if you don't have money set aside, you need to really focus on, okay, what is important? What are things that I can shut off for the next 3 months? What are things that I can live without for the next 3 months so that I can, keep this and extend this? Okay, guys. So I just dropped a lot of gems in this episode. I had so much to say, so much things to talk about. But I do want you guys to know that credit is very important when you are trying to, do certain things like buy a house, get a car. And it can really make the difference between you paying certain amounts. So if you guys have any questions in regards to credit, definitely DM me, send me an email. I will also be posting throughout the week just informations and tips and certain things that I've talked about on this episode. First and foremost, I just want to say thank you guys for listening to this podcast. If you are trying to figure out ways to support the podcast, what you can do is rate the podcast follow, comment, subscribe, download on any platform that you are listening to this podcast on. Tell a friend, repost it on any platform that you are listening to the podcast. Use hashtag Real Life with Ty. The more that you do that is the more ways that other people can also find the podcast and help us get out there. And as you guys know, if you have any questions, suggestions, or want to leave me any comments, feel free to DM me at Real Life with Ty. That's also my Twitter and Instagram. Or you can email me at reallifewithty@gmail.com. Holla!
You've got Ty